Okay, here's mallards. And they're all right, there's 3 males with a female. They probably have a nest right up there on the shore. There they go. Later. Alright, I got lucky to get up close to a moored barge. There's a dude right there talking. It's Musket Hilltopper. Look at the dude in the canoe on it. That's an awesome sign. Musket, if you want to send me one of them, feel free. That's pretty awesome looking barge. Look how clean it is. It's nice. I like the red and gray too. It's loaded down with coal. You can see there, it's all the way up through there with coal. All right, nice treat for you, huh? Yeah, look at that. That's real fresh. That's some kind of carnivorous beast, it looks like. What the heck's going on? I don't believe this. I mean, I see this from up here. I'm scraping the base clay and I flipped this right off the base clay. And that's another big, it's a shame this is busted. This would have been a year maker. I'm pretty sure that is a big lance. I know it kind of looks a deemish, but it ain't. Let me wipe this off here. I found that classic string town in here. This was right on the base clay. My God. My God. Oh, it's just super ground. You know, that sure looks Adena, but I gotta look in here and see what, you know, that looks more Adena. But then, it's not. I can almost guarantee it's got a bevel. I'll have to look here longer before I decide, but that's a true heartbreaker. My God. All right, here's this first broken one. I'm home. Talk about this for a second. You know, at first glance, you find that in the field, you think, stemmed woodland point, but I don't think so. And I'll show you why later in the video. I find a early archaic late paleo point. This is ground, and that's stem lancy looking too. Scott's Bluff looking. And now look here. These are Missouri points. Look at this. There's a very good shot with the other stuff that I'm finding that's a eastern Scott's Bluff, and you can see it's got a bevel down the edge, archaic chipping, no grinding on the base, maybe touched a little bit, but grinding in here. You can see the big variations in the Scott's Bluff points. Look at the edge though, how that, you know, it's something to think about. I do not think that it is an Adena. I think it's something like this. Scott's Bluff 1, transitional paleo, 10,000 to 8,000 before present. You know, and it could be one of these other, there's so many Hollands and but I find a lance later in the video. Enjoy the rest. If I was going to call this an Adena too, I'd call it a Crescent Adena, which you can see kind of matches up. But there's no other material like this around it. And and you see this is woodland, and this is what I'm talking about. You cannot jump to conclusions. Look at the other stuff I found around this. It makes a big difference, don't it? Now you think about what this looks like in terms of the Scott Bluff Type 1, that's probably not what it is. It's the associated material. It looks like a Scott's Bluff, and the other stuff, all them lances coming out, they're surely not Adenas. That's for sure. Later. Alright, I got something nice. And I'll do this with a smaller shovel. I excavate everything, you know. If it's within a foot of the shore down there, that stuff is a race against time to get that stuff before it gets damaged from boat action. Up in here,
See, the base clay's here. There's a thin layer of stuff on this. I have a knife in my back pocket, and I'll do a whole video on it. I don't want to do it in this. But I scrape this stuff. I even use brushes sometimes. See, I'm hitting the dirt. Or I push my shovel real easy. Just, you know, this is loose material. It's falling out of that bank. It gets moved around. Just push my shovel easy. Look here. Right off here. Right, that Stringtown lance came from right there. Another point right here. I don't know what it is. That's just how I saw it. But that looks pretty daggone good. And it looks paleo-like, kinda, don't it? It's got a little base on it too. So what is that last broken point I found? This surely ain't an Adena. You see what I'm saying? And all of this stuff's right here together. Look at this. This has a bevel. This is a lancelet. Folks, I have done it. I've been here for 2 hours. I only got that broken point. This is slow going when you're digging like I am. Oh man, that's a lancelet, folks. You can't deny it now. Look at the slight bevel there. That is a beautiful find. You know, that was thrown on an atto dart a long time ago. Holy crap. You see, right here in a week, we got the stemmed lance. I'll show you the point series. We're getting a series of points now, but I've about got this excavated. One more trip, you know. I was thinking just before I found this, man, this is getting slim pickings. But I'll be able to look this place for years, you know, find a few points, maybe a half dozen points a year. But that's just, wow. That's a smoker. I'd say that's a late Paleo, early Archaic, that time frame right before notch points, where they're coming in from stem stuff into the corner notches. Man, folks, man.
Alright, I'm back home. We're going to look at the other stuff here with this, the other point forms that have come out of that small area over the last week. You can see this has light shoulders on it, and you saw that point in the previous clip that I found broke. I think that's some kind of old point. You see this has a bevel to it on this side here. It's beveled. It's really nicely made. I think this is some kind of late stem lance too. See the late shouldering on it? And you know, the form of it, what else can you say? And now you come down here, I found all this other stuff. And I found broken ones too, bases. I found a base of one about like this, and some other broken ones. But these are the ones that you see. That won't even lay straight. You can see look at the bevel on that. You can see it, it's got it. It's a beveled little stemmed like lance. And here's like a classic Stringtown, but you know, you'd be calling that a Scots Bluff out west. Right there with spurs on the base. And this one, right in the same area, and same with this. These are some kind of lances. You can't really argue against it now, and this one's about the same material as this one, and it was found feet from it over the last couple days. What is this stuff? You know, I'm thinking right in that Scots Bluff time period. Then you come over here, here's the notch points from the site, and one of the nicest tools. See how that changed colors after it's been dried out. Look at that inclusion. That's an end scraper. That points to age. These were being made during the Archaic period. A Kirk corner notch. And what is this? A Kirk 2? Greenbrier? I don't know what to call that. It's super well made. Imagine that, you know, on a atto spear. That's amazing. Look at it. That'd do some damage, but this is an old site. This is some good stuff. I'll keep going back. But that stuff's interesting. That's some old stuff. And this point today is phenomenal. Look at that. A bevel. Wow. Well, kind of in closing here on this video, you can't always jump to conclusions when you're finding something. You know, that may be an Adena, but I don't think so. And that's what I'd have called it if I'd have picked it up in a field. Me personally, I'd say, oh, it's something woodland. But it sure don't look like something woodland when you see everything found around it. There was a big, I don't know, but a big difference in makers of points. They might have been making them all on the same template, but each guy had his own little unique styles. A guy making stem lances 10,000 years ago could have been making them pretty close to the same form as an Adena point or a Hopewell point. But you see it here. I think this is some old stuff, folks. You can't jump to conclusions. You got to really look around on this stuff to come up with some opinions on it. And I'm still not even sure, but I'm leaning towards old on all of it. Later.
Well, I don't know what this is, but this is where I found the silver 3-cent piece. I stopped here and look at all the stuff washing out. Here's a piece of iron washing down. Now look at this little, like, that's the head off of an old square nail. Now what the heck is this thing? That's like a lead piece that has, I mean, it's like a bullet, but it's got a little pedestal on it. What is that? Is it some kind of musket cleaning bullet? I don't know. I've never seen anything like this. It might be something off something, but what is that? And it's old as heck. Because this is, you know, that, and look, there's salt glazed crock pieces, old brick, old iron. What is this? I'm gonna have to come metal detect here, that's for sure. But look at all the stuff tumbling out. That is a very cool lead find.
All right, this was off of a river crossing site where I found this, and the activity stopped about the Civil War and went back into colonial times in the 1700s. I found coins that old there. But I thought about this, and you know, when you first see that laying there, you think, oh, that's a jig head with the eye rusted away and the hook gone. It's not. See how it's got a white patina, it's been oxidized. This is an old piece of lead, way over 100 years old. And I got to thinking about it. That's a musket ball with a sprue on it. I ain't never found one of these. This has been poured into a mold, and this piece would have been trimmed off with a knife or whatever, but it's just not. I've never even seen anybody find one of these. That's what that is, and that's the top of the pour, and they went down a line, and they were setting right there. Who knows, a hunting camp, but that was a lot. That's old river stuff right there.
Something laying out right here in the sand. It looks like a little knife. That's exactly what it is, and that's nice. Man, I'm glad I stopped and walked a couple places. That's actually nice. This is a different site than the beaver den, way far away, miles away. But that's a good piece. It's got some of the Cortex on it. Look how nicely that one's made. It's even like got a fleet. That's cool. Well, I'm coming along and I flip over every rock and I see this one. I thought, man, that's come down out of this bank and you can see fired rock. So I flip it over. You see, there's not really much in this side. And then I'm thinking nothing. And then boom. What the heck? And it ain't broke. There's just a huge, this is awesome. Look at this. Man, another artifact. That's it right there. That looks funny. Yeah, it's just a rock wedged in there. It's nothing, but just, I'm gonna flip all these over. Look at that. You could fit an egg down in that, a chicken egg. That's a nice nutter. Look at it. Huge deep hole. Wonder over there, man. Alright, this looks good. Look at this stuff tumbling out of this bank. And I just picked up that Crooksville chert tip. That's like a Kirk or something. Man, the flakes go all the way across the blade. And this, I'm looking. There's been rain on this spot. There's a little bit of potential. Thought I'd give you one more look at this boat. I come in over on the backside, back away from this tie off. There it is. Thanks for watching, folks.